That's a good idea, right?
That's a terrible idea, but yeah, sure. All I got's water today.
All right, and we are live. All right, guys, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great week as usual. I'm back with the two homies, the love of my lives, the reason I wake up every single morning. We got the boys here. We got RC on top. Got Squid over here on my over here. I don't even know what direction that is. It's right to me, maybe left for you. And we got our nice little logo right over here, so you can go take a look at that. We love our logos. All right. With that being said, how you doing, boys? RC, go ahead and go first. How you doing, my good friend?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm tired. Balancing work, my new schedule, school, just a lot. Day-to-day shit is what it is.
That does sound a lot. That sounds like hell. No, thank you. That sounds like that sounds like you really do balancing, and we appreciate you on the podcast. It's always kind of hard to get the boys together all at once. So when we actually get together, it's really nice. I really enjoy it. Squid, what about you? How's your week been?
It's been a good week. I'm just exhausted from today.
I'm gonna clip
Been
all the
up
times you say that.
been up since 1 a.m. today, and it's now 9:30 at night.
1 a.m. yesterday
Oh
through
yeah,
today. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, almost 20 some hours.
Yeah.
But it's all good because the podcast is what matters. Let's get this done. Let's talk about what we need to talk about. The fans want it. Let's give it to them.
We love doing this, guys. We enjoy it. We have
We
such a
do.
good time. We haven't got any sponsors yet, so we're always looking, guys. If you guys have any ideas or sponsors, or you guys want to sponsor us, we're always looking for sponsors. With that being said, you can find us at any podcasting outlet. Any podcasting outlet. We're listed on all of them except Apple Music is giving me the runaround, man. They just don't want us. I don't know who I have
They
to
don't want
go.
the smoke, bro.
I don't know who I have to blow
We're
to
too
get them.
controversial, man.
We're just covering too many hot topics. That's it, guys. And another good announcement, and I want to kind of segue in this into today's episode. It's June is Men's Health Month. Did y'all know that? Squid, did you know that? I don't know when this
I
is
know it's
established.
Pride Month, and
No,
then
yeah, I
there's
know it's Pride Month.
Juneteenth, but I didn't know it was Men's Health Month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Men's Health Month. A national observance used to raise awareness about healthcare for men and focus on encouraging boys, men, and their family to implement healthy living decisions. Yeah,
Dude,
Intriguing.
for a second, I thought you were going to say practice safe sex. And I was like, oh, it's about to be a sermon or some shit.
that's always a thing, guys.
I'll
If you're
get for
not,
abstinence.
if you're not
Always
practicing
practice safe sex.
safe sex is the great sex. All right, with that being
Always
said,
practice safe.
I'm gonna crack open my beer, and I brought a protein drink too, so I'm just gonna
I
drink
cracked
both
open
of
mine
them.
on accident, so I'm already open.
Fake news.
I'm not drinking tonight, but
Cheers,
I do
mate.
have water.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
Can't
All
drink
right.
tonight.
Which brings us to the topic of today, the importance. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like a Renaissance man. The importance of today. The importance
Come on,
of
get it out.
I got it. These are just big words. The
Oh,
importance.
hold on. Take 5.
I actually had it right there. I
And
had it.
cut.
All right. The importance of having the homies, having the boys, having that bromance that you really love. That's something that's kind of new now. I've never experienced that until I started hanging out with you guys.
Oh, like when you hit 'em with that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's more about like I had that growing up with some of the homies, and now it's like, we're now bromancing even harder as adults. So, but I grew up in the '90s, so '90s like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like it was kind of a time of homophobia. People really did not like people that were gay. I mean, growing up, like that was an insult, and now
Yeah.
now things have changed. You can love your bros. You can call them up in the middle of the night and have a conversation with them. Hit them up all the time
Don't
you
call me in the
want.
middle of the night.
Yeah, not
You
right.
can turn over and ask him are you asleep, and he'll tell you, nah, man, what you need.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much now that you can do, and now it's okay. It was always okay, but now it's okay. Like, to be more open about it, to be more vulnerable, which is another thing. To really just allow your bros to kind of just infiltrate your life in the most personal and intimate ways. Which brings
The
us. Go ahead.
the homosexuality aspect of it is now non-issue comparatively to what it used to be. Yes, you are correct.
Honestly, it's like a necessity now.
I don't know about that much, but
And if you're gonna be with the boys, you're gonna get a little like that. It's just the boys.
It's definitely gotten kind of gay, which we like. We definitely like that.
Nothing wrong with it. It's the
Yeah,
boys.
we definitely like it. It's the
only weird
homies.
if you make it weird.
Yeah, you know.
But I wanted to bring this up now. So like let's play a little game show here scenario. It's
All right,
called
what is it?
Is it gay or is it the homies?
I'm down. Let's go.
All
I
right.
like it.
Sleeping in the same bed. It's gay?
Non-sexual.
It's the homies, man.
Non-sexual.
No. Non-sexual.
Non-sexual. Yeah.
Either way, it's the homies.
There's no sex having right here. That's just that. Yeah, we're not having sex here, guys.
That's not fun.
Yeah. So gay
It's
or
the
the
homies.
homies? It's the homies.
If you're not playing the frickin' the Brokeback Mountain soundtrack, it ain't as fun.
That's a hot soundtrack, bro. That's a good movie too.
Nuts a butt or nuts a nut. It's the homies. If it's spooning, it's really the homies.
Yeah, sometimes you get lonely. You just need that strong embrace.
Sometimes you get cold. You know what happens.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to the next one. Cuddling with the homies. Gay or the homies?
As long as the socks are on, it's the homies. You gotta have the socks
RC,
on.
what are you thinking there, man? It's kind of gay.
It's a little gay.
It's a little gay. It's a little gay.
It is definitely approaching the homosexuality. Yes.
All right. What about watching movies with the homies? Just you and the homies.
No.
But
the
what
homies.
what about if it's The Notebook?
It's the homies,
Hey man, if you can't cry with your homies, who can you cry with?
right?
That's true. Let's see. Holding hands. Gay or the homies?
I hold hands with the homies all the time.
You're gonna get a lot of. He's gonna say yes to all these.
He's gonna say yes.
Yeah, it's the homies. Having sex
It's
with
the
your
homies,
friends.
man.
That's the homies. Did he
It's
need
the
it?
homies.
That's the homies.
Little gay.
A little again. Hugging.
Homies.
Homies.
No. Oh, that's an embrace, man.
That's an embrace. Yeah, exactly.
Dead ass, like it's an embrace.
All right. Tucking in your friends. Is that gay or is that the homies?
Homies. Especially when they're tossed.
Oh yeah, that's
Actually, I've been there for some homies. Yeah.
If they are tossed, you definitely gotta tuck those fucking.
If they're
homies.
tossed, you do whatever you can.
You gotta
to
chain.
make
You gotta
them-
chain those
make sure
motherfuckers
they're
down.
safe.
Exactly. You gotta
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
seat that
You gotta-
bitch in
yeah,
so
you
they're
gotta
gonna fucking roll.
Super glue their feet to the bed, like you have to make sure they stay, because
After you draw some stuff on their face, but yeah.
Yeah, and we have, and our homies are like relentless. Like you put them down, if you don't, if they're up, they get up and they're outside smoking a cigarette.
Dude,
Yeah,
yes.
so you definitely have to do that. So really, it's kind of there's not really a defined line to what is. We have obviously some extremities, like if you're tonguing your homie down, that's gay. But I mean, a light peck for experimentation, that's the homies, right? So drawing
Kiss
this
on the cheek or the head, it is what it is. You know, it's straight.
Hey, if your
okay.
homies having a bad day, give them that forehead kiss. Just let them know you love them. Just don't. On forehead.
I don't know who's doing that, but if you want to give a warm embrace like that, I support it 100%. But that's more of like a like a father's dropping you off at your first dance. Like, I'm proud of you, son. Like your 7th grade dance.
Hey, sometimes we need that feeling again, all right?
So I definitely think that there's like no real line that we can draw. So we'll start off. Who do we start off with? Squid, go ahead. So let me ask you. I know you're gonna get really into it.
Let's go.
What do you think the importance of having the homies or having the boys around? Like, what is that to you?
What do you mean exactly?
The exact same question I just asked. The importance.
What in your opinion, what is the importance of bromance? Having the boys, having that camaraderie.
Honestly, it's everything, because the importance is there, because you can have friends that are guys, you can have friends and everything, but your homies, when you can make those jokes, have that type of relationship with them, and you know that they'll be your ride or die, the ones you can call when you need anything, or the ones that are there for you in a low time, or if they're in a low time, they go for you. It's not even about anything being like a joking, funny, or whatever. It's like they're there for you. You do the playful other stuff just because it's funny and you're just messing around with each other, but it's like they're there for you no matter what. And it's everything to have that bromance, because it shows how comfortable y'all are with each other, and it shows that how real y'all have been with each other.
Agreed. RC, what do you think? What do you think? I definitely think you're right on that stuff. It's not always about the joking and laughing and cuddling and hugging. I mean, there's definitely times where you got to get really deep, and you just got to like,
Even if it
it's.
hurts.
I mean, if it's like 3 in the morning, you guys have been drinking all day. It's about to get super personal. You're about to start doing that. I love you, brother. You
Yo,
know.
but those are the best fucking conversations you will ever have with a friend. It's at 3 a.m., damn near shit face talk, no matter where you are. The deepest and the best talks I've ever had have been those.
Those life changing heart to heart conversations with your bros.
You ain't sure if you're gonna remember them in the morning, but you have them, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Well, what about you, RC? What's the importance to you? I know you got some serious bromances going on.
So I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. For like what Squid said, you know what I mean. Me and my friends have all been together since grade school. You know what I mean? Like we've you always hear it when you're growing up. Don't expect to have those same people when you get older. Everyone drifts apart, life happens, stuff like that. And that is true. That does happen. But me and my collective of friends have been able to stay together even with everything that's gone on in life. I mean, hell, the same dudes that I hung out with in high school are the same people that were in my wedding, are the same people I'm going to spend holidays with. Our families have all become entwined, not only within ourselves, but our physical families, like our parents and stuff like that. So it's really, really important to me because these people are not friends. They're more than that. They are literally family. If I'm
Agreed.
having a get together, I'm having Christmas, I'm having something like that, it's not a chore, it's not a task. It's not like, oh, I'm throwing a party, I'm gonna invite them over. It's like, hey, we're doing family Christmas, they're coming. And that's what it is. It's they are literally it bridges that line from being a friendship to being family. You would do anything for that individual and their family. And it's definitely important. It's probably one of the most important things to have because people who don't have relationships like that, in my opinion, from what I've gotten to see personally, that I know some people that have never gotten to experience a friendship or anything like that, their lives are a little different. They don't have that person they can rely on. They don't have that, like Squid said, I could call my buddy right now, and if I said, hey, I need you to be at my house in 20 minutes, you best fucking believe whatever he's doing, wherever he's at, he's going to be here in 20 fucking minutes. And the first question out of his mouth is, what happened? What do you need? That's it. There's never an anterior motive. There's never anything else. It's always to help or to be and to enjoy each other's company. And going back to the bromance section of it, the little, you know, gay quips or the little jokes and little bullshit we do, it's just that level of comfort, you know, just being comfortable with that other individual. We're both heterosexual straight males, but we can make those jokes and laugh and have a good time, and everybody around us will laugh because it's like, oh, that's funny. Nothing more than just pure camaraderie, and it's very, very important, extremely important.
And to add on to that, to add on to the whole family part is I can call any of those guys too, and they do the same for me because I consider them family too. That's how close knit they become with me and everybody.
To put this in perspective for the ones that don't know this, Ed and RC are brothers. So what they're saying is that RC could call any of his friends and they'll come and help. But also, RC's an extension. Ed's an extension of RC by family. Therefore, if Ed calls any of his friends, and vice versa, they'll do the same as well. They'll come through for him.
They would treat us exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've also, yeah, and I also earned it to where I consider them my friends without my brother too, though, which was amazing.
Which is good. It's always good to blend the friend group until you are beefing, right?
Good man, they prefer me more than him.
Sometimes they do.
Here's
I
our
hate it. Growing up, there'd be times that I would be coming home from work, and they'd all be at the house drinking, and I'm like, "What the fuck are y'all doing here?" And my brother's there with them all hanging out. I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, is what it is.
Damn it! Who invited RC?
Yeah. Oh, he lives here.
Shit. All right. I guess you can come to our party. Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel that that's so important, that whole blending aspect of it as well, because they slowly integrate. You start having your friends that are on the outside slowly coming in toward, and it's like a central unit. Now they're the ones you call when you get arrested. There's the one you call whenever your car gets towed. They're the ones that call, if you're in a jam. Those are the ones you don't no longer call your parents anymore when you grow up. You can. I mean, I can, but well, I mean, depends on what time. My dad doesn't. My dad's pretty. Yeah,
Situational.
he's pretty drunk by 6, so I can't call him to pick me up or anything. But I definitely call the homies, and they'll drop what they're doing. I already know what they'll do though. It's happened before. I mean, there's been times where I was in a jam and I had to call a homie. Halloween night, 2017. I was dressed as a bunny, and I got trapped in sand. I got drove into sand. My buddy immediately came and got me, and that's what happens. I was stuck in the middle of nowhere in a buddy suit. Yeah. So they'll do that for you. They'll pick you up.
I've done the same for you. I'll do it again.
Facts, and that's all we always are. We always have that. So for me, it's a little more grim. I think that yes, all those things you said are why is it important, but there's a sense of obligation you have to have with your friends. Unfortunately, you're obligated to do certain things. Whether you like to do them or not, you're obligated. So like certain obligations that I feel that I have to do. All my friends are having kids. They all have kids. They all have houses. So they always have like, a gender reveal party. I hate gender reveal parties. I hate them. I also hate that I'm the only one drinking. Right. So I hate it.
It's not okay to shake shots at a children's party. Yeah. Fucking making these rules, man.
Yeah, the gender parties are so stupid. I hate them. But I will always go to my friends if I'm in town or if I have to drive down. I will always go to theirs because I support them. I support them having family, and I support their kids growing up. I'll always be out there to help them out when they need it. And really, they don't really need you for anything. They just need you to be there. And of course, if depending on. I don't know. Do you bring a gift to a gender reveal party, or do you wait for the baby shower? I still don't know how that works.
You can. It depends. Some people, especially nowadays with everything that's happened with Luna and all that shit, most people aren't doing actual baby showers anymore. You just don't see them a lot. You see gender reveal parties, and that's really it. I haven't seen a baby shower in a while.
Most of the time with the gender reveal, you get them the stuff that they need that's not clothes and shit. So like strollers, diaper changing stations, diapers, wipes,
bottle cleaners.
You get the necessities, yeah. So for a gender reveal, because throwing stars, fireworks.
Yeah, all the things the kids need to have a great life. So
exactly.
So dirt bikes, whatever they need. Girls Gone Wild DVDs. So there is a level of obligation you have to your friends. That's what makes them your friends. I mean, they're the ones that have to be there for you. Unfortunately, they're going to have to be there for you throughout the rest of your life. And I said this at my buddy's wedding. I was one of the best mans. I told him that, you're not my family. You're not my friend. You're my brother. And, brothers have to be there for each other no matter what. We're family now. And one of the things is what I was getting at is, you have to be there not just in the good times. You got to be there in the bad times. You got to be there when I'm hurt, when I'm upset. I got to be there when you're hurt and when you're upset. I got to be there whenever somebody dies in your family. Your grandma died. I got to be there.
You go through a breakup or something bad, yeah.
You got to be there. And one of the big things you have to do is if I die, you got to speak at my funeral. And I'm going to do the same thing for you. That's something I've always thought was kind of it's grim. It is. But I'm always going to be obligated to that standard. Okay? And I'll speak at your wedding and I'll speak at your funeral. And I expect the same from you. So there is a lot of parts of that's kind of grim, but having the homies around really does kind of shape who you become. You're not who you are, you're who your friends make you be, because we all slowly blend together.
Yeah.
I mean, I only became a gamer because I moved to San Antonio and all my friends were PC gamers. So what did I have to do? I had to use my financial aid to buy a computer. I mean, I used my financial aid to buy a computer for school. So I had to, to blend in with the homies. No, and that was probably the greatest decision I've ever made because I never felt more connected to the homies, to the boys, to when I got on PC.
A lot of good times. Yeah. A lot of good times.
A lot of good games,
moments that you can never forget. And
last week, you saw me and Steve get scared shitless playing a game. If you watched the stream.
You did, yeah. Ed was really, really bitching out on that one.
I wasn't bitching out. Fuck you.
But yeah, it's changed too, because the moments that I remember that were the greatest for me was when I grow up and we'd throw the football in the streets, somebody yell car, we get on the street, we go back and throw it. And now it's shifted to this more virtual reality world that we live in. Now we can all be homies across towns, across stations, and now we got
states across. Yeah,
we got this little shit right here. I didn't have this growing up. We didn't have phones. We had beepers. So now you can call me and we can talk for an hour, and you can ruin your eardrums. You
You
know.
FaceTime me, and it's like you're sitting right there in front of me. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Yeah. And you got the homies you FaceTime and you take a shit. You know, we always got that. So there is a
Okay,
level.
Zach.
That's there is a level of
Exactly what you're talking about.
we have to like keep it at where that's the homies. Now let's. So, have you ever had a breakup with a homie?
With a homie or with a friend?
I mean, they're
Yes,
once
yes.
once were a homie. Now they're no longer a
Yeah.
friend. Go ahead, RC. How did that? How did you approach that? That's a weird idea right there that you're breaking
You
up a
know,
homie.
it's funny. I've never actually talked about it, and seeing how I'm live on a fucking podcast for the world is where I'm going to have this conversation. And if he ever hears this, sorry, bro.
You're a dead
Like,
man.
no, no, not like that. Like, I had a good friend of mine, and Squid may know who I'm speaking about. Uh, Me and him, according with our lifestyles and everything, got into a position where like every time I hung out with this dude, every time I spent time around this guy, he wasn't necessarily making me a better person. The position where we were at in life together was becoming a clash because he wanted to live this specific lifestyle, and because I was in a relationship and progressing in my own life, I was living a completely different one. And it was very difficult for us to mend those lifestyles, or continue that friendship where it wasn't getting to be a problem, or I was sitting there in a position where I'm like, hey, this dude isn't really doing anything for me. Like, it was a situation where he was a friend of mine, but everyone else that I had around my life, he wasn't. And I could never get that integration like everyone else. Like you, Steve, for instance. You came into my life because of Squid, and you've just integrated with everybody, right? You're part of his friends group, and now you know my friends group, and fuck, you've come to Thanksgiving and all sorts of shit with us. Like, you are family. I couldn't have that with him. It never actually came to fruition because he had too many issues with other people that I was very, very close with.
Mm.
And because of that, we just grew apart. And my wife bitches at me all the time that I need to reach out to him and I need to at least try to keep that friendship. And she's not wrong. But at the same point, how often do I text you? I
Uh.
don't.
Oh.
Unless
Um.
it's related to the channel, I don't. I don't talk to anybody unless it's in Discord or I get a fucking text message or I have an obligation with them. So it's like my best friend, my best man, Rob, my best friend. I haven't talked to him in weeks. The only reason I've spoken to him is because his chick FaceTimes mine all the time. My other best friend, I talked to him yesterday for the first time in like 2 months. We just started talking like we saw each other yesterday. That's how it is. That's how I am. That was creating an issue with our friendship, and that's why I pretty much just stopped. It was never, neither one of us, I guess, have tried to fix it, or do anything about it. We both just kind of went about our lives. And it sucked because I genuinely had a lot of great times with that dude. I would still sit down and have a beer with him to this day. I have no problems with him. Love the guy to death. But as for the bromance, the friendship like I have with everybody else, that is not there. It has dissolved, unfortunately.
Did you have to exchange words with each other, or they just kind of just stopped? You just stopped completely.
Well, we had one night where we both got blackout drunk and fought in a parking garage. I say fought. In reality, I tried to spear him and he threw me on the ground. We were both tossed. Over, I don't even remember why it happened. I was gone. But ever since that night, we really just haven't talked since. Like, we never talked about it. He tried contacting me. I was working a lot. I didn't respond. Life and such. And that was 3 years ago. Like, we have not talked since.
Damn.
Like, so it's just it's a weird thing, man.
It is a weird thing. You guys get in a wrestling match outside of a bar, but no, that's rough, man. It's so hard when they're not when you want to invite them over and they don't blend. It's hard. It's hard to like keep the because then you got to hang out with them separately. You know,
Yeah,
it's
and that's
really
what was happening.
yeah, and it's really hard to kind of do that whole split with them. So I definitely agree on that notion. Ed, what about you? Have you ever had you had to give them a hey, we need to talk? One of those texts.
Um, I
Like,
did not. Huh?
Like it's a breakup.
It's not you, it's me.
I'll leave your stuff on the porch.
Oh, bro,
Um,
I'm getting triggered right
so
now.
y'all know who I'm gonna bring up because it's the only one it's ever actually happened. But it never, it was never like we broke up. It was he drifted away from me, and I really hate that it happened to this day. I miss him a lot. He was a great friend. We had so many fun times, you know. But he just started drifting away from me and everybody else. You know, he actually integrated in the friend group and everything, but he started drifting away. You know, I tried to rekindle it as much as I could, but eventually it just ended, and I haven't talked to him since. And then me moving, of course, didn't help anything.
Yeah, it's always hard to keep but I mean that's kind of a strength that you have with your friend group. If you can keep them strong, like the rope tight around your friend group, when it like time and distance doesn't matter, you know, and that's just something that happens. So that's kind of a testament of your friendship. So I'm not saying that he was a bad friend or that you were a good friend or anything like that, but I'm saying that if it fails the test of distance, then it wasn't really
That understanding wasn't there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't built on the rocks that of a foundational bromance that you want to build. But of course, that is rough, man. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
rough one. Yeah, I
What
do
about
feel
you,
like
Steve?
oh, dude, tons. I'm out there just breaking hearts. I'm out there just breaking friendship hearts. I have
You're breaking, you're breaking cocks.
I'm
You said you were triggered. So
Oh
what's the
no!
story?
I was just saying, like I was triggered by it.
Oh,
When she
okay, I
said
got you,
she
I got
said
you.
leave the stuff on the porch, like that was like literally
Oh,
what
shit.
just like happened like 3 4 weeks. She was like leave it. I left your stuff on the porch.
I didn't even think
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
I'm
that
so
was
fucking sorry.
that was an actual breakup, not a bromance breakup. That was an actual
Oh
breakup.
shit. My bad.
No,
My
it's
bad.
cool. I'm not really triggered.
No, I know.
But I have multiple friends where I wouldn't call them we ever had a bromance, but I will say that we were close at one point. But it's hard because I get close with everyone I meet. I'm always like I get really friendly with them, and I don't like to say no, so they might see it as like, damn, Steve really drove 2 hours to come hang out, and I'm just like, well, hell yeah, man, you're a homie. So I've had a lot of friends over my life, especially in college. I made friends every semester, and we were boys, and we just stopped just because time. They got married, they got graduated, whatever. But I had two really big friendships that ended. The first one ended, I would say, because of me. It was a girl. We had a very, very platonic relationship. I'll start off by I was in love with this girl at one point. I really did back in like 2011, 12. She was married, so nothing really ever happened. And then fast forward a couple years. I will actually say couple. I don't want anyone to pick this timeline apart. But years later, we were always talking and we were always friends. We got really close, and then we ended up hooking up.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was great. Like we had a really good time, but it just
No, yeah, but that'll fuck up any relationship, dude.
yeah, and that's the end of
Sorry.
our bromance, really, because now she didn't know what she was. I don't think she knew what she was doing in the sense I don't know what I was doing either. So I think her intentions was she was in town, she wanted to hook up, we did it. Me, I was like, finally, the girl of my dreams is
I
gonna
get
make
my shot.
yeah, it's gonna make
And
love to me, and we did it a couple times, like that time, and then a few months later, and then I always was like, man, I'm like in love with this girl, and then she just wasn't, and we
yeah,
could never
that
hang
wasn't
out.
what it was.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
could never hang out again because it was always kind of awkward and uncomfortable. But she was really one of my best friends. We were friends for years prior to that, and I don't think the hooking up messed it up. I think the misunderstanding from my part, like I thought she was interested in me more than a friend or more than a slam piece, and it wasn't true. I was just like a slam piece to her, and to me, I was all like fucking like hard eyes, bro, hard. I was just in love, and I was younger, and I was very ignorant to the whole like hooking up thing. I was like that was never part of me. So that was definitely a problem, and that ended to our not our friendship ending, but she has a husband now, or a boyfriend that doesn't want her talking to like guys she hooked up with, and that's me. So we've talked a couple
So it's a
times for that.
conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just it's never like, but when we do hang out, rarely. It's always a fun time. We don't hook up anymore. We're just friends, but it's no longer that intimate relationship we had about being a bromance that we had in the beginning. So I guess you could be bromance with girls. I guess you can.
Oh, you can have
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Currently, I'm
Well,
not. Yeah.
I
There's
was
a
gonna,
line.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask this after you were done, but can there be a bromance with the opposite gender?
Me and
fuck yeah.
Ashley have a really strong friendship. If y'all don't know Ashley, you'll find out on the next podcast because she's
Yeah.
gonna be on it. Yeah, so stay tuned. Me and
That'd be
Ashley actually
fun.
have a really strong friendship. We've always had. We actually didn't have a strong friendship, and then we slowly built one. And we were just there. It was like the right time, right moment, and we've never hooked up. We never even consider it. We've always just been good friends. And anytime I need her or she needs me, she'll call me, and I always come through for her. And likewise, she's that friend. So y'all find out on the next episode about her. She will be our surprise guest, and I'll surprise me more. All right, this other one, oof, bro, that's a rough one. He's probably listening to the podcast too. If he's listening,
Sad.
hey, I love you, homie. Sorry, our friendship is no longer kindled. So I had it's not kindled. I had a really strong friendship with I'm actually my best friend growing up. I've had 3 best friends growing up. 2 of them are still in my life currently. They're still always on call, on text. We text every day. They're I don't know what's wrong with them. They're fucking idiots. They write me on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, and on Messenger. All 3 different topics we're covering. One's about
You're having 3 different conversations.
One's
That's
yeah,
good, that's
it's
what's
so
up.
weird. It's one of us is because one of them is like for baseball when their daughters have a baseball game. We'll go to them. One of them's about movies, and the other one is like a bunch of stupid ass memes. I love it to death though because it's kind of funny because I can see a little red mark and I'm thinking, ooh, maybe that's a girl that likes me. No, it's just my fucking friend sending me a fucking
I'm
meme.
blowing up the fucking group chat.
Yeah, so but we used to call ourselves the Four Brothers. If you haven't seen Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese Gibson, check it out. Great film.
On
love
Netflix.
it. I love it.
It's a great movie.
Great movie. We always call ourselves the Four Brothers. And one of our friends I won't say his name, but we've been friends for so long. And we were actually, if he was still close to me, my YouTube, my Twitch, even probably this podcast, or maybe I'd have a podcast with him, we'd have our own thing. And he was talented, man. He was so gifted. Like, he was so gifted and dead ass headhunter at making films and stuff like that. And he was really good at it. He was really good about bringing content. He was hilarious, too. Well, I went through a breakup years ago. And after my breakup, maybe 3 weeks later, he sent me a message. He's like, hey, dude, is it okay if I talk to Voldemort, too? And I was like, I mean, yeah, dude. But at this point in my life, he was miserable because he was by himself. He was so miserable. And I didn't really like her. We didn't like
y'all
each
dated?
Well, we were together for a long time, but at the end, I was like done with her. We broke
I
up.
got you.
Yeah, I was done with her. So he ended up dating her. And now we can't really hang out. It's just so weird. We tried it, and it ended terribly. That's for
I was
another
gonna
time.
say, was it weird for you, weird for him, or just genuinely both of you are now just there's this uncomfortable thing?
It was weird. It wasn't when me and him because he's come over and hung out with our friend group, just him. But one time he brought her over, and it wasn't weird in the beginning. But I'm drinking a lot because I'm hanging out with the homies. I feel safe.
You're comfortable.
Yeah.
It's good. That's straight.
Well, her and I got to talking, and we said things that should not have been said. Nothing sexual, just things that you shouldn't say to each other, especially something to your friends. Your
Ex friend's now girlfriend.
Yeah, well, now they're married, so I guess my friend's
Oh
wife.
shit. Yeah.
I shouldn't say something to my friend's wife, and then she shouldn't say something to her husband's old best friend that we used to date. So we both kind of made that mistake. But so it got awkward and uncomfortable for all of us, and so now he's not really part of the friend group, which is really sad because I think that was kind of his last effort to try. and now it didn't happen. And I always feel bad because I tell my other two friends that I hang out with, I was like, dude, you should hang out with him, not don't hang out with me, because like I mean I don't bring nothing to the table as far as like I'll bring jokes and laughter, but like they're them two hang out, their kids hang out, their wives hang out, and I just feel like that he would bring more to the table than me, and that just isn't happening. But it's also because he cancels on them a lot, so it's not just me. But yeah, so our friendship kind of ended because of that.
And I get that last portion. Like, if you flake out of everything, because I have a friend currently that I still love him to death. I'd still do anything for him, but everything we set up as a group, everyone will show up except him, and it doesn't matter what conditions we attempt to do to like kind of appease him to get him to come to it or come out to whatever the situation is, he'll still bail every time.
Yeah,
And that just gets frustrating to the point you just stop fucking inviting them.
and that was one of the big things is that the my other friend, bless his heart, such a good friend. He told me he was like yes, I was like, dude, we stopped inviting him, not because of you, because he's canceled on us so many times. He flaked so many times, and as a friend, he didn't even show up to my friend's wedding. He should have been standing up there with us, which is like it doesn't matter what you got going on.
That happened to me.
You should have. That's an obligation that you hold to your friend. There's two things you got to be at really that are important. If you're a good friend, if you're a homie, you got to be at their funeral and you got to be at their wedding. You got to make it happen. And it wasn't like he had to go pull strings or do anything crazy. He just didn't show up. But he should have been standing right next to us. And my friend was like, dude, I kept telling him like, yo, the date's coming up. I want you to stand up. Are you gonna stand up with me? And he goes, probably not. Like, dude, you have an obligation to your friends. It doesn't matter what you got going on. It doesn't matter the awkwardness that you and I might have. Has nothing to do with us. It's about him. So if you don't show up, like, don't even consider yourself a homie anymore. Like, unless you have a legitimate excuse, and the excuses are very limited. You had to go. You had to go to a funeral. You had COVID.
I was gonna say,
Yes, you had your kid is sick. Those are the only three. I don't know any other ones. Your car broke down. Anyone would have picked you up. Whatever the case may be, you should have showed up.
Under certain circumstances, I will accept work. Under very certain circumstances.
Like their work is kind of like they're on call.
Yeah. Or it's like, hey, I don't have any time. I'm sorry, because like for instance, as an example, right? Let's say I scheduled my wedding in 7 months, and I barely told everybody, and he's like, bro, I don't have PTO. I'm sorry, like I can't fucking do it. I don't know what you want me to do about that. I can try to get it off. As long as he makes that effort, I'll respect it. But if he doesn't have time, and I gave him that last like we're planning this in 7 months kind of thing, I get it. I'm gonna understand if he doesn't make it. But if I give you a year and a half,
Make it.
I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Yeah. You have an obligation to your friends to be there for them, and that he needed to be there, so he wasn't. But that. So I do always think about him because, man, dude, if him and I team up, we would be unstoppable. we would be the best. Like, I mean, honestly, he probably, no offense, Squid, but he probably would have been on that Kevin Smith video that I made on YouTube. Check it out, 800 the Steven verse. Yeah, he would have been on that video. No offense, I mean, he would have been on that video. He a movie buff. He knows all his movies. Like, he would have been part of all that. But he chose that life. He was so enamored with just being in love or falling in love or finding someone to love that he neglected his friends. And that's a lot of people. Whenever they have relationships or in their couple, they'll neglect their friends. But don't forget them. Don't forget your friends.
Squid, you wanna talk about that?
Talk about
Because
what?
you were on the receiving end of this.
Because you yourself were on the receiving end of this exact style of issue.
Yes.
If you want to talk about it, I get it. If you don't, but you were. You're the only one that I think ever has.
I was on the receiving end of this.
Not to call you out. I'm sorry. I should have asked.
We
you
put
first.
people on blast here, guys. We're not.
Yeah, he's my brother, so fuck the guy. But my bad.
Yeah, I had an instance where I was with someone and I didn't know certain things, and it ended up affecting my friendships pretty severely. But after talking through stuff and realizing what was going on, I made the decisions, and I don't regret anything I've done. And now my friendships are back to where they need to be and where I want them to be, thankfully. But highly don't just do something or don't neglect your homies or your friends for anybody. If they can't get along or if they're not doing it, then they're not the one. They're not the one for you. Because at the end of the day, who's been there longer and who will be there? The homies, your friends, your family. 100% don't do that. That's as much as I guess I'll go into it because
Okay, I respect that. Sorry to put you on blast. I respect
hey,
that.
No.
we put each other on blast. Fuck that shit. We put people on blast. That's what it is. I get you.
Yeah, we're
We're
I was
real
caught-
here. Ain't no
and-
bullshit.
yeah, blast
and
off, motherfucker.
If it shows how much I'm blast, I was caught off guard. And but yeah, no, it is some shit, man. Like, I guess just because it's something that not a lot of people know. I don't bring this part up, but
I
yeah,
get it.
what happened? It really stunted my friendships, and it was getting really bad. Me being in love and shit, I didn't notice it. I had feelings, but I didn't notice it. I couldn't pinpoint it. But after getting explained to by people, I really started to realize what was going on. And of course, like I said, sorry, who was there for you first, who will always be there for you, no matter what, your family. And I consider all my friends that I continue to talk to this day, like on a basis, whether it's a week between we talking or whatever, I still consider them family. There's a lot of friends that I haven't talked to in a while that I will still do whatever they need if they need it, because I feel like I have that strong enough foundation with them. It doesn't matter how long it's been. And everybody I talked to about it, they told me that they didn't want to lose me and they were reaching out to help me and save what we had. And it really showed a lot of what I was neglecting and not seeing. And that's not something anybody should ever do. And if you ever have to question it, you should really reevaluate what's going on in your life in that part, because this isn't something you just want to give up on and lose for someone. Never.
Not without proper cause. If you
Exactly.
got that toxic friend and they're fucking your life up and the person you're with is telling you that, that's different. Weigh your fucking options, man. But if it's not that and there's no other ladder, you need to sit back and take a look at what the fuck's going on.
It's hard to say that too, because like the friends that are always fucking up your lives, those are the ride or dies for sure. Like they might like be like they might say, nah, you gotta chug that bottle of whiskey right now, and you're out there chugging it, and you're about to get arrested by the cops, and they might just sucker punch the cop and they'll let you go. You know, having friends like wild card bitches, you know, having those
To be
guys,
fair,
you know,
yes. Yeah, because
But that person that you're with is signed up for that shit. Because my wife puts up with my fucking dumbass friends. And trust me, there have been plenty of times where I or one of them was going to go to jail because of our actions. Or we decide to devise this wonderful plan and wind up doing something fucking stupid. The person you're with, and this is not a relationship episode, so I'll stop after this. But that person you're with should understand that these are your fucking bros. These are your family. And it's gonna fucking happen.
yes,
yeah. So
because I do still, but I had another friend who, and y'all know him, he's a ride or die for life, no matter what. But he was also one of those friends that would do that dumb shit that could get you into some dumb trouble. Granted, we have a bunch of amazing memories, and he passed away, but I miss him to this day, and I know if he was here, he'd probably be on this podcast with us.
So he'd probably be on this with us. for
He'd
real.
probably be a part of the guys, but I know he's here in spirit, and we do everything we can to remember that. And this one's to him, to the homies. But yeah, honestly, your friends, your bromances,
very important.
you never want to lose them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So how does
Or
good?
your gromances. for the opposite gender for
Still
girls.
bromance.
Is that what
Well,
it's
yeah,
called?
I don't know I don't know if what girls would call it. If they call it their bromance with their friends, or if they
Yeah,
call it
because they're
bromance.
my bros and I'm their bros. Yeah. So
Well, I meant like if it
Yeah.
was like Ashley and like and her
Ashley's
friends
They're a
were
bro.
yeah,
They're a
okay.
they're
bro.
my bros. Yeah, they're fam.
Nowadays, that term is taking the gender neutral
Yeah,
stance.
it's like
Okay,
it's like
okay,
dude.
it's a generous. Okay,
Yeah.
so then yes,
It's like, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
any bromance, it's not worth losing for honestly almost anything, really.
So the question is like last topic before we end. I know we're going a little far. I know RC has to go do some bitch shit.
Yeah. Got a wife, it happens.
So I definitely think that how does somebody transition from just being an acquaintance or friend into that realm of now we're holding hands and shit, we're cuddling, we're definitely broing out. How does somebody get into a brotanglement with you? When is it?
Me?
Yeah, with your both y'all. Like, what classifies them from going from that transition from friend acquaintance to a bro?
Well, for me, I can think of at least two ways. One, it just happens naturally. Y'all are hanging out a while and everything's chill, and then you just start making those jokes, and then eventually it just sparks into a thing. Or they end up being one of those people where something happens and you call them or you contact them. You're sad, you're lonely, or something, and you're like, you know what? I want to hang out with this person. I want to like see this person. You hit them up. Hey, what you doing? Let's go get a drink. Or hey, you want to go do this or that? Or hey, I'm in a jam. I need some help. And then to me, they jump that status, and to me, they turn to family as a bromance title. Like they turn into that person I can look towards. I think
Yeah.
those are two ways for me at least.
Yeah, for me, it's a separation, I guess, because of the lifestyle and community and everything I've done in my life the background I come from. Hanging around a lot of law enforcement and military dudes and guys like that, the homosexual, what would be considered homosexual jokes and actions and stuff like that amongst a bunch of men and a military standpoint, that's a fucking everyday thing. There's nothing weird about that. In a law enforcement standpoint, same thing. It's just this. It's a term of comedy, joking, fun. It has nothing to do with legitimate sexual inclination. So, for me, that itself doesn't contend to what having a bromance is or having that fucking ride or die friend, right? Like Squid said, the ride or die, the bromance is someone who I can call whenever. They'll do the same shit for me as I would do for them, and there's no fucking question about that. If I call my buddy and say, "Hey, I need $100. What's your Venmo? I'll get it to you tomorrow, bud. I got you." And there's no question. There's no, "Hey man, you're gonna pay me back," or there's no bullshit like that. It's, "I got you. What do you need?" Versus like I'm part of a fucking Jeep club, right? There's a lot of those dudes I've met for the first time, and where they're making fucking jokes at each other, right? Making stupid fucking comments. And there's camaraderie. It's all laughter. It is what it is. I could hang around with a bunch of military dudes for the very first time, never have been around these guys, and I could crack jokes with them, and I would know that it would be okay because that's the. I'm trying to think of the term, but it's the community and the way that they are.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a difference in what I think is bromance and what I think is just being open with people or a bunch of dudes and not having that weird, because there are still guys that you make a dick joke or you make a, I mean, I'm not gay but I'd go down on him and they're gonna look at you like, the fuck is wrong with you, like you, like that's an issue. Not everybody's accustomed, not everybody's necessarily minded like that, which is understandable. It is what it is. You have your own preferences. Everyone can believe whatever the fuck they want, but yeah, that's different to me than from what bromance is.
I definitely agree. So how does somebody jump from being just a friend to a bromance with you? What's how do you know like when the transition is? I would say like one of your oldest friends. Like how did you know when he became a friend? But I feel like that's through the duration of your relationship. He just migrated into your family, and that's how it happened. But like, what about whenever you
Commitment,
have
man.
how much? What's it?
Commitment.
Oh,
That's all it
commitment.
is. It's like I said, it's that understanding that if I need them and they need me, we're gonna share that. We're gonna be there for each other. If it's ever one-sided and it starts to feel one-sided or be one-sided, that's it. That there is no romance, there is no friendship. If I'm doing all this shit for this dude and I'm trying my hardest to be there when he needs me, when he calls. I'm giving him whatever. I'm helping him however. And I call him, and it's like, hey, man, I need your help with this. And it's like, oh, bro, I can't. I'm sorry. All right, dude, I understand. Why? Well, I got this thing. Like, I'm watching the game. I can't leave right now. You tell me you can't come help me because you're watching a fucking football game? No, we're going to have a problem. That's the difference. It shouldn't even be a fucking question. If he's at work or he's doing some shit that he can't get away from or he's out of town, I get that. It is what it is. I'll call someone else. But if he's sitting out with the feet on the fucking couch watching a fucking football game and I need his help and he ain't going to come, fucking he lives down the road from me or something, no, we're going to have a problem. And that's the difference. It's a consistent and equal partnership on both ends of I'm going to do anything for you and I know you would reciprocate that. That's where that line gets drawn. Because I'll help anybody. I'll give the shirt off my back for fucking anybody. That's just how I am. But if I get somebody who will reciprocate that action and I trust and I can trust, fuck yeah. That's not a friend. That's a bro.
Definitely. Again, back to the whole thing is you have obligations to each other. Your acquaintances, you call them and be like, hey, can you pick me up? My car's in the shop. No. Like, that's fine. Yeah, okay, cool, man, whatever. Then you call your bro, hey, can you pick me up? And then if they're truly your bro, they'll be like, yeah, man, dude, I mean, I haven't, they'll find a way. I think that's kind of a thing, is they'll find a way. Well, yeah,
you
man.
Buying lunch?
Yeah, like I haven't taken my lunch yet, so I can take an early lunch. Let me just talk to my boss. I can leave early. I just got to talk to my boss. Let me drop the kids off and go get you. They'll find a way to come help you.
I've had people call me an Uber. Let's put it that way. Like, you put the effort in to help me out, that's it.
Definitely.
What about you, Steve?
Thank you for asking, love.
Gotta ask. Yeah, you gotta get asked. Like, come on.
I definitely think that whenever you have I think it's built over time. It's something that, they're hanging out with you for a while, and you always call them when you're having a get-together. They're always like, I gotta call this. I gotta call, gotta call the homie, dude. I'm having a barbecue. They're always invited to every event, and without even getting an invitation, it's automatically assumed they're invited, which is kind of weird. I think it's still kind of rude, but either way.
Yeah, because I don't do that for my brother to this day. So
yeah,
Dude, I never find out shit. My parents don't I don't find out shit. Dude, my dad will be like, hey, you going to Archie's this weekend? I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, we're going to be in town doing a barbecue. I'm like, no? How the fuck am I supposed to know that?
You didn't tell your brother? Why the fuck would I do that?
And they planned this for like a week. I'm like, no. Even when I lived closer to him, I was like 10 minutes from him. Still nothing. It was like, no. Or I talked to him the day before, and he wouldn't tell me anything. I'd have to find out like last fucking minute. It still happens. It's some shit.
Yeah, Steve, you're right.
Yeah, so that's one. Also, like, being comfortable with sharing just certain personal, intimate stuff. Like, there's stuff that I've done that would probably have people on this podcast probably throwing up. Some weird ass shit I've done in my life, and I'm okay with telling them because I know that they'll keep it hush hush. I always regret telling them certain stuff, but because they'll bring it up later on. But they never bring it up in a way where I'm uncomfortable to the point where I'm like, dude, why'd you bring that shit up, dude? They know everything about you, and you know everything about you. It's almost kind of like a hostage type, or like quid pro quo kind of thing, where like I got you, but you got me. But if you leak this, I'll leak this. So it's like
client-lawyer confidentiality.
Yeah, you're
not even mutually assured destruction. That's what you're looking for.
I like it.
So, next podcast, Steve makes us throw up, and we just do reactions to everything saying, but you can't hear him because it's messed up.
There's gonna be a bunch of beeps.
No laugh challenge.
A bunch of beeps, and you're already just out there throwing up. But I definitely feel like they know everything about me. The bros that I have. They know most of the things about, and I'm pretty open, and everyone knows I'm open. I talk about everything that's going on in my life. I would say I have a filter, but I don't have a filter in certain topics. I'm very open about everything. One of the big things is I try not to cuss so much. That's something I don't like to do, and that stems back to one of my friends. My friend's daughter watches my stream, and she's she's a youngin, and So I don't swear on stream. I will like if it's 3 in the morning and I'm toasted, I'm gonna swear. But
You get scared or something. It happens.
yeah, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'll swear and stuff like that. But that's just because I want, well, I want the one viewer, but also because like I think she thinks I'm a little movie star because I'm on TV.
That's cute.
But yeah, and I definitely do that. I try to stop cussing as much because I definitely would. I like that she enjoys it. Even my chat it knows that
I need to work on that.
I just don't like to cuss
Same.
anymore. I mean, it's not something that I like to do. I don't really. I try anytime I'm cussing, it's to emphasize something or when I'm mad. There's really nothing I'm emphasizing anymore, and I'm really not that mad anymore. So that's why it's kind of like there's no need to. I will in front of the boys, of course, when we're all private. But yeah, so little things like that I've changed for the boys.
Potty mouth when we're off camera.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you're silly goats, skonka, dumb butt. Yeah, we can say a lot of bad words.
I'm gonna tell your mom.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah,
Snitches get stitches, bro.
I didn't say a cuss word.
Give me some more stitches, man. I need more scars.
So, but I really think that having
Big
having
scars.
close friends that transform into bromance is actually really hard, because at once it's a level of insecurity letting them into the group. Like, do you want to let this guy we really don't know, even though you know him for like 20 years? We really want to let this guy we barely know, but letting him in the group is really hard. So so I have like a really tight knit circle, and in my little circle, I would say that I have 2 really good friends that I trust with my life, and I would call them for anything. I've actually called them when I went to jail, so I've called them before. They were the first ones I called. I knew their numbers by memory and called them. But it's kind of hard because the times that you do get arrested, you're normally shit-faced with your friends. So when you go to jail, what are they doing? Sleep.
They're fucking with you.
Yeah, they're well, that too. But I mean, I was saying they're sleep drunk as fuck.
Yeah,
drunk
you're all in
as a
the
skunk.
fucking drunk tank or the holding cell.
Yeah,
fucked.
we're all
You
like,
can't do anything.
they're all right next to you. But, you know, it really is. I've always had trust issues when it comes to friends because I always feel like, since I'm so open and vulnerable, friends will take advantage of that and they'll bring up that shit later on. And they'll use it as like fuel or ammo to kind of hurt me. So I've always been kind of like, I only trust a few people in my life. Now, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to tell you the secrets, the Elden Scrolls of my life, because I don't want you to use that against me. Especially, by the way, guys, don't trust your work friends. Those aren't your bros. Don't trust them. Wait till they become your bros. Because, you know, I feel like a lot of people, since you're around your work friends, you think they're your homies. Be careful.
They are not your homies.
Be careful. I have friends that are like, yeah, I'm gonna smoke, but like I don't want my friend he works with me to know because then he's gonna snitch. Don't do it. Just don't. I wouldn't even hang out with him. Like honestly, like, and you know, me and Squid met through work, but he wasn't a bro back then. He wasn't. I didn't trust him. I would never do anything illegal in front of him. Now we're homies and we're just doing fucking hooligan shit.
That's true. It took a little while. I think it took you leaving the store for it to really blossom into that.
Definitely.
Because we hung out and stuff, but it wasn't like as debaucherous until you left the store.
Good term. I like that.
Yeah.
So definitely there is an importance to having a bromance. And if you don't have a bromance, you should definitely get out there and find one. You know, it's definitely a good way to deal with a lot of the mental health shit that you're dealing with. Having someone to call, to have a drink with, to talk with. That's always very important. And I don't want to cover too much on mental health because we'll cover that. That's coming.
We're gonna cover that.
That's coming.
Fucking coming.
That's
gonna
coming.
be a deep one, dude.
That
That's
might
gonna
be a 2-episode one.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
Barter.
might either finally break our hour limit or we may have to fucking break that bitch up because that's gonna be a long one.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I don't want to cover too much about that, but definitely, if you don't have any bromance, you should definitely get in one. You should definitely get in one. All right. Anything else, boys, before I start closing us out?
No, not at the moment, man.
All right. With
Excited
that,
to do the next one.
yeah, With that being said, you can find us at any type of podcast station. The ones we're listed on, not anyone. The ones that you can find us on are Spotify, Amazon Music, Podcast Addict, Podchasers, Podcast, Deezer, Listen Notes, Player FM, Podcast Index. We're still waiting on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, and Pandora and Google Podcasts. But it's coming.
Of course, you can always check us out on YouTube.
You can always check
See
out
us
on YouTube.
actually talking.
You can definitely follow the TikToks that we're posting TikToks all the time. We love to talk to the homies, to the fans. We love to respond to them. We enjoy your input, so we definitely like the feedback that we always get on it, and definitely something that I look forward to whenever I get to read. Because if y'all don't know, I'm the one that read the chats because these fuckers don't read. Yeah, they don't read.
I never learned how.
They don't know how to read.
I don't have TikTok. I'm sorry.
He doesn't have fucking TikTok. So I do a lot of the responding and things like that. So definitely check us out on the YouTube, the TikTok, and any of the podcast stations. All right, you guys got anything else to say?
Nope.
Nope. Just stay tuned for the next one.
Of course.
The next one's going to be very fun. We're talking about
Next one's gonna be really good.
red flags when dating. And I even bring a special guest, one of my good long-term friends. Love her to death. You're going to love her too. With that being said, you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Later, y'all.